Henri Rousseau was a self-taught post-impressionist painter. He did not start painting until his 40s, and even then, most critics ridiculed him for his childish style. However, over the years, his art influenced many other painters, poets, and musicians, including the 2005 animated film Madagascar. His best-known paintings depict imaginary jungle scenes. I'm going to begin my Henri Rousseau-style jungle scene at the bottom of my paper in the foreground. I'm going to pick 3 or 4 plants. They can be the ones that you see next door, or you can make up your own. And I want to make them nice and big to fill up that bottom space. So I'm going to draw my first plant. I'll pick a couple more. I'm going to try to weave them in between each other so that I use all of that space and create kind of like a wall of plants at the bottom of my paper. You can follow along with me, or you can go back to the beginning and look at Rousseau's work yourself and pull different styles of plants from his artwork that you would like to fill your space. Remember, right now we're starting in the foreground, the bottom, so these plants should be the biggest and take up a lot of room. Next up is the middle ground, which is what's going on just a little bit farther behind that front wall of plants that we drew. I'm going to go with a tree. And what I really love about Rousseau's work, what makes it so fun and kind of whimsical, is that he doesn't worry too much about scale. Scale is how big something is compared to other things around it. And so if you see in his work, he'll draw a tree and then make the leaves much larger than they would be in real life. So as you're putting together your jungle scene, think about how you can fill your space, and also maybe you're drawing leaves that are bigger. If maybe you're going to add oranges to your tree. Just keeping in mind how you can combine everything to create a really full picture. We want to use all of our space. For my tree, I'm kind of going to draw a couple leaves and make sure I like them. But one way to save time is by not drawing everything with your pencil. So I kind of know that that's what I want, that's great. I'm not going to waste any more time doing it in pencil. I'll just go and add those leaves when I use my Sharpie. That's a great way to save time. Now, if you would like, you can add some animals into your jungle scene. Rousseau kind of has these animals. Sometimes they're in the front, but sometimes they're just kind of peeking in, like they're kind of hiding in the shadows. I really liked the way that big leaf, that fern, created this kind of like hiding place for my lion to kind of crouch like it's watching, hidden in the grass. I'm also going to add a bird up top. You could add monkeys, you could add a tiger, any kind of animal that you'd like to see in a jungle. And kind of the crazy thing too about Rousseau is that he never actually went to the jungle. He went to botanical gardens in France that had a lot of different animals and types of plants. He went to listen to stories of soldiers, of people who had fought. So you can kind of be a little bit more creative. Now I have my Sharpie and I'm just going to outline everything. So once I'm done, I'm happy with my image, I'm going to begin outlining just like this. And here's where you can see, now I'm going back with the Sharpie and I'm adding in all those leaves that I didn't draw the first time. One other thing with your Sharpie when you're outlining is you can change where things are. So once you are happy, when everything is outlined, erase any of those pencil marks that you don't need anymore, right? You drew over them. Just like this. Okay, pause here to outline and erase. The last thing before you begin to color is to create your background, your horizon line. So I'm going to go from one side of the paper to the next, and I'm kind of going to weave in between all of my plants and animals until I have a set line that will separate the bottom, which will be my land, and I'll paint that green, and then the top will be my sky. That will help you when you color, which is what I'm going to do now. Now I'm going to go really, really fast, super speed, and this in reality will take you a lot longer. So take your time. You can use a variety of markers and crayons, colored pencils, oil pastels if you have them, whatever you have that has different colors that will give you this really interesting picture that has lots of different colors and even textures if you want to go for that. Like I added texture to the tree. I'm overlaying my colors, so you'll see that the blue goes on top of those grasses to make them darker. I'm also looking for places I can add color because it's a lot of green. And so looking for other colors I can bring in. Orange, silver, brown even, blues. And just keep on coloring away. It'll take you a while, but the end result will be really beautiful. When you're all finished, you'll have an Henri Rousseau-inspired jungle scene.